Welcome, you guys. So glad to have you. And I know that like Christmas is in the air and all of that is exciting, but also, you know what's really exciting? Impact 3 in the new year. That is what is exciting. I'm super excited to be able to share Impact 3 with you guys. And today we're going to be featuring two of those speakers today. So you can kind of get a little sneak peek at like what you're about to get yourself on into. But if you're a tutor and you are either starting, growing, or expanding your online tutoring business, you are not going to want to miss this. So here's a little bit more information about Impact. All you have to do is click the link in the description. Woo! So excited. So definitely go there, click that link, sign up. And you know what? This is all about getting to know each other as well. So today, you're going to get to know some of the speakers that are going to be at the event. So I'm super excited. We've got Suzy Dickstein with us, and we have Michael Gibben, who's with us as well. And Suzy, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Um, Hi, I'm Suzy, and you know how you want to have a business for years and years, and you have this feeling like you could just do more, and you're a little afraid, and you're not really sure sort of like what business to start, and you want that lifestyle business that you see on TV or on internet, and that's what I help people do. I help them to figure out like basically a perfectly custom tailored business to their personality, to their lifestyle, because a lot of people just sort of can't think outside the box of what's there for them. But
Yeah.
I like to find their mission so that people are super passionate about the people that they work with and the business so that they can actually have the confidence to get on YouTube live or Zoom and do these events because when you're like really gung ho about what you do, then you're willing to put yourself out there.
I think that's so key and so important because, a lot of times, you know, we don't even know where to start. Like we know we're in a job that we're not very happy with, or we're in a position in life that we're not happy with. And you help guide people into, okay, what's next? Where can I guide? What can I do? Do I want to start a business? What would that business look like? What kind of impact do I want to make on the world? And that's what I love about you. And you guys, she's going to be talking about um, something really awesome. I love, which is how to get students, but without the 25% cut that Wyzant is taking. Right? Like so
Ching.
many times, that's like one of those things that we end up doing is we listen to the advice of everybody online thinking that that's the advice that we should take. But we're not really listening to the successful people online that have been doing this for years and years and years. Sometimes we don't even know who we're reaching on out to. And so I think that's really key and important to make the distinction between listening to everybody online and really like choosing the people you want to listen to. In the beginning, you don't even know who to listen to, do you, Susie?
No, and what I loved actually about our interview, like our conversation, was that we really gave a range so that people could start in one place and gradually move up to other places so that you don't have to. I know for me, I get overwhelmed at the idea of starting too big. And that's where we dream, right? Like when we, close our eyes and we turn off all the noise of the world, we often can, like most of my clients actually see themselves on a big stage. But the idea of going from where you're at to that point of like, 100 or 1,000 people in audience, it's too big. And so what I liked is that we gave them steps that could make them feel comfortable of like, okay, here's a good place to start. But I also want to build something that's really going to help a lot of people. And I think that's what you've done, right? I mean, you started with
Yeah.
tutoring, but look at this amazing business where you've got how many speakers do you have for this event?
We've got over 20.
Exactly. And how many people have you helped with this event just like last year alone?
Oh my gosh, with last year alone, it I know we had people from 22 different countries. We had over 800 people that signed up for the event. So, pretty big impact that was made for people, and there's a lot of people that I meet throughout the year. They're like, "Oh, is that your impact event?" And I
Right.
love that because it means I get to make a bigger impact on their lives and their businesses.
Yeah, and then all those people that you help, plus their families that get helped because the people like sometimes I know a lot of your children are very special and they can be disruptive, right?
Yeah.
But you teach them so many life skills, right? It's not just the studying skills, but life skills that the families are just more cohesive.
Mhm.
To me, I think that ripple effect of being a business owner is and having like a mission based business, nothing can beat that, right?
It really can't, and I think that's what, like, we are all such heart-centered, as tutors, we are so heart-centered, right? Like, we lead our business with our heart, and now we need to connect the heart and our brain together. Like, that's like the
The wallet. And the wallet.
Yes.
Right? And that's sort of what our conversation was about because I think people can't understand. How much do you charge an hour? Remind them?
I charge $100 an hour.
Right. And that's what the newbies don't understand is that, oftentimes you come into this because you're in a situation where you're feeling like you didn't have a lot of power in your job. And you're like, I don't know how much you can make. Oh my God, I want to make like 30, 40. And then you sort of feel taken advantage of. But
Right.
with your guidance, right, you're able to help people to actually move up
Yeah.
and really value themselves. But more importantly, the students and the families value so much. How long are some of your students you have them for?
Gosh, years, absolutely, just years. I have most of my students for years. I have some that will just stay with me for a short time. I have some that stay with me for times that I'm like, "Am I still working with you?" Like, I spent 8 years with one family. I was, like, taking a look at I've worked with every single kid in the family. I'm now working with the youngest, and I've been working just with him for the last 5 years because, dyslexia isn't a one time, let's do a short tutoring stint and it's fixed and it's done. A lot of these families realize that if your child has dyslexia, it's a longer process that needs to be involved. So, I work with some of my families for a really, really long time. I had one family I had to let go last year because I was like, the kid's getting too old for me to work with. Like, and they wanted me to tutor everything. They wanted me to tutor math, science, social studies. I was like his homeschool teacher, like, during the pandemic, but I had worked with that family for 8 years prior, and before I actually had to kinda cut the ties on that one and provide him with tutors that were going to be a better fit.
So, but the point for your people is that if you don't want to do marketing, right, then the amount of turnover that you have in your clients is really important because you're not constantly searching for people. They're
Right.
either staying with you or they're referring other people, right? Like I think you told me some of your marketing you haven't done in years and it's still bringing people in because you
Right.
you know you put in the legwork and then now you're not having to do that and instead of you going to find people like on Wyzant, they're coming to you, right?
They are. Attraction marketing. I don't know if that's a term that people are still using or not, but I gotta tell you, it works. Think about a big magnet, right? And that magnet, you just like put it on out there, and your people go, they suck right on into you and they want to work with you. And that's what I help people do. I don't help people with the paid advertising, the cold leads, or those kinds of things. Like, that's not my deal. I'm not good at it. I don't feel like it takes so much time to build relationships with people that I would rather use attraction marketing, inbound marketing techniques to try to get people to come on board with my tutoring services. Yeah.
Well, and that's for me, that's people are either sort of same as solopreneurs where they're copying everybody else. And Wyzant actually sort of forces you to be an apples to apples comparison with everybody else. And when you're new and everybody else has got a profile that's been filled out and they've got hundreds of reviews and hundreds of topics and all this stuff and testimonials, then you come in quite at a disadvantage. But with you, you help people to become Raveworthy, right? That's the other end where
Yes.
you're distinctive and different from everybody else, and you don't need to hop through all these things of having 20 subjects, but you help them to niche down to something that's really important and become really excellent at it. And I think that's the way to go.
Yeah,
Because if you're not Raveworthy, you're gonna hustle for forever
you
because
are.
you're just not
Mhm.
worth being you're not worth being repeated, right? You know what I
Right.
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and so you
rough.
guys, like, and so what does Raveworthy mean? Raveworthy means that people can find you online, right?
And
So
free referrals mouth to mouth after school, right? When the parents
yes.
are talking to each other.
Yes. So it's like there's lots of aspects there. Like people find you, you feel like they feel like you're everywhere. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this lady is not scared to put herself out there." And are you scared in the beginning? Yeah. Do you think Susie is like sitting here like, "I feel so comfortable being live in front of all
No,
these
no, no,
people."
no. I'm gonna pee right after we finish this.
It's doing it even though, right? Even though
Right,
I'm
because it's
scared.
that important. Because
Yeah.
you know that you're going to affect people's lives, right? And that's
Right.
that
Yeah.
that's why we do this, because we want to help people, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
make the world a
Yeah.
better place.
It is.
Absolutely.
And we've got Michael Gibben with us today as well, you guys. You guys, you know that I love collaborating with Michael. Michael and I, we have similarities and we have differences. So I work with those professional freelance tutors getting right out of the gate, like I'm getting this business
Mhm.
started. And Michael has actually grown a tutoring agency with lots of tutors under him. That's never been my big goal in life. This was something Michael did, and he guides people and coaches them in how to take that. And so he's going to be talking all about how to evolve and become a leader in your tutoring organization. And I think this is so key and pivotal. Tell people a little bit more about like your story with the tutoring agency that you had, Michael.
Sure thing. So I started out in the classroom, and after a couple of years there, I realized it was not the right fit for me with the 30-on-1 ratio. And I was like, I want to impact more students. So I went into tutoring, and I expanded quite quickly and started getting bringing tutors on. But I a lot of trial and error and a lot of pivoting because I felt I had everything I needed, but I really didn't. And I had a lot of struggles with the onboarding, retention, and really recognizing all those absolutely vital pieces you need to have a successful tutoring team working for you. So with time, it grew and then tutors stayed long term. I learned some strategies, and that's what I want to impart to tutors now is here's a framework for hiring, onboarding, and keeping tutors for the long haul, because you don't want to be in a cycle of stress having to constantly replace tutors that are leaving you, and you don't want to put yourself in like this vice of I have to micromanage every single thing they do, because if I don't have my thumb in every pie, the business is going to collapse, because
Right.
that's not reality. You have to be able to go out there, trust that your tutors are going to do amazing with your families and with their VIPs. So yeah, so that's really what I do is I go out there and I work with tutors to help them get a comfortable guideline and step by step for how to hire with ease, how to onboard and train with ease, and be able to learn some of those vital soft skills and communication skills so that they can rock building those relationships with their tutors and with their families as they act as liaisons and gain the confidence to run it,
Yeah.
because you can do it.
Oh, we have like all the stages right here. Like we're pivoting
Yeah,
from,
we
isn't that
do.
cool? Like
It's so
pivoting from
awesome.
like, I don't know what to do to, okay, this person can help me here with figuring out what to do. This person here can figure me if I decide tutoring and online tutoring is where I want to go, this person can help me here. And if I decide I want to have other tutors in my organization, I can go here. Now, some people, Michael, they decide that they want to start off right away with hiring other tutors to work underneath
Mhm.
them. What would be your suggestion for those tutors?
So my suggestion, I mean, do a lot of reflection, think about it. I would say from personal experience, I should have held off a few months and really took the time to really make sure I had everything, all the ducks in a row. And that's what, again, that's what I coach people on to help avoid that struggle. Definitely, if you're going to hire somebody, there is that chicken and egg situation of should I bring people on board, or should I have students ready for them first, or should I have a whole set of tutors first and then hope students come in? take the time to look at your trends, see what's trending in your business. How many students are you bringing in every month? How many leads are coming in every week? Track all that data to see what's your trajectory going to be like over the next few months, and bring on board if you feel you're going to have someone in the next several weeks or next few weeks, because as you're saying, you're referable, you're relatable, people are speaking about you. Then bring someone on, because what you want to do, and this is something that took me time to learn in my own business as I brought on my team, be a tortoise, not a hare. When you're hiring, take your time, go nice and slow, on board, do all those great things, follow all those steps so you have an amazing tutor ready to go, so that they are ready to rock it with your family, versus hiring quickly and then regretting it later.
Yeah.
And
And then
and it's
taking those
okay to
right
have
steps, right?
exactly, and it's okay to have one or two tutors in your queue that match the niche you're looking for, have all those pieces you're looking for ready to go when the student comes on. That's great, versus having students saying, where's a tutor, and then you feel that conundrum. Do I take this family on until I find a tutor? But then they're going to be your family for the long haul, and it just creates a lot of burnout potential for you. Because if you want to expand, take your time, do it slow, and yeah, make sure you have a couple tutors in the queue ready to go.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to hear from both of you guys, from both of your perspectives.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about niching down when you have a tutoring business, or just like a business in general, Susie? Like, do you teach people to like really hone in on a specific
Oh
niche,
yeah.
or try to hit the
Mhm.
masses?
I that's funny. I came up with this video idea last night, and it was something like why you don't need to niche down, and then the sort of secret component of it was like once. We're in such a competitive world that niching down once isn't even good enough. That's just like having a restaurant and you're like, okay, I'm going to serve Chinese food. Okay,
Yeah.
but there are like 20 Chinese restaurants in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
So yeah, you need to niche down. But I think the biggest problem is, and in your industry might be a little bit different, but in mine in general, people niche down incorrectly. So
Mm.
what they do is that they understand a niche to be a group of people. And I don't think of it that way. To me, that's a target market. And your target market should be your ideal client, not just anybody you're willing to work with. You want to literally attract the person who you want to keep around for
Mhm.
years. But what you need to focus on are psychographics. So the way to do this, so instead of focusing on like, I want to work with like women who are overwhelmed, who are 25 to 45, okay, but like, what do they have in common? And so the thing that we need to have in common, or the bait that we want to have on the end of the fishing rod, is the problem that they have. Because if you can speak to the problem in a way that is so specific that they go, yes, that's me, then you don't really even almost have to sell the solution. And so, what's really important is finding a problem that you want to keep working on for years. Because, um, truthfully, and I'm about the money, specialists make more money than the generalists do, right? Really, nobody ever raves about a generalist. They only rave about somebody who solved a really hard problem. And so find something that you're going to find challenging to work on, that you're going to
Mhm.
enjoy working on. I think that people get into the mindset that they want to tackle a lot of things because they're going to get bored in their work
Mhm.
if they're just doing one single thing. But you know what's really boring? Not having any clients, making very little money, competing at that $40 an hour level. That shit's
Mhm.
uninspiring. So if you want to make $100 an hour, and love your clients for years, then yeah, find a problem that is difficult, that is worth, people solving, and that's gonna, last for a while. And you have that because we all find things that we really care about, or things that we've overcome in our own lives.
Mhm.
That's the juicy stuff, and that's when like your marketing copy, your videos, when you can dig into those problems, and you have those words that really ring true. That's when you've got something really good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Awesome.
it's so key. And I'll tell you, a lot of you guys have told me over the years that you don't really like lesson planning. Guess what? Neither do I. And when you niche down, you can really begin to eliminate that whole idea of lesson planning. If I'm teaching math and algebra and calculus and reading and writing, if I'm teaching all of these things, I have to really plan my time with each of those students. But when I know my content so well that I can do it in my sleep, all of a sudden, I get to do what I love every single day, day in, day out, with the ideal kids that I love working with. And I never have to plan another day out of my time or spend my weekend figuring out what I'm going to teach who and when. I get to just work with them all of the time. And that is really joyful for me, for my clients, and for the people that refer me. What's your take on niching down, Michael?
I think Suzy and yourself said it perfectly. Like in terms of like with my own private tutoring, it's very specific. It's like you said, specific problems, specific curriculum, specific everything, and can still charge a really high rate. And it brings value and it saves time. I would say when you're hiring tutors, have a very specific problem. Like think about when you're hiring your tutors, what problem are these tutors going to solve in your business? And which type of clients are they going to work with? You don't want to be hiring for everything, because that's a misconception. I think when you're hiring, I know I went into this pitfall when I started, where I was like bringing someone on for French, and I was bringing someone on for Mandarin, and I brought someone on for this and that and everything else. And I was burnt out, because it was just, you're running yourself ragged trying to hire these different people and assess are they the right fit. And oh, what's the curriculum for that again? And it just creates a lot of extra hours for you in your business, creating stress and also reducing the valuable experience you're trying to bring to the tutor that you're bringing on board, and also to the client, because you want to make sure you're bringing a VIP experience across the board. So if you have something very specific that you've already cultivated and you bring on tutors that can also not just teach that subject, but can also have that impact, and it saves you the time of really having to what you're doing then, and it gives you the chance to not have to worry about curriculum, have to worry about standards in that area. It just allows you to train your team, work on the soft skills, and just work on that part when you're hiring tutors rather than worrying about the subject. And it's okay to say no to clients for expanding. It's okay to say no if you feel like, okay, our company was elementary school math primarily. If someone came in and said, hey, I'm looking for help with grade 12 chemistry, well, no, we just don't have anybody. Don't waste money trying to bring a tutor on board, your time trying to onboard someone for that one subject, because A, what if that tutor doesn't work out? But also B, you're putting a lot of pressure on expanding in an area that you don't know enough about. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And I think it a little bit eats away at your confidence when
It does.
you're
Yeah.
trying to do something that's outside your wheelhouse, because we know when we watch successful people, they don't work outside their wheelhouse. They don't need to say yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
No is super empowering. And the more that you walk around in the world as someone who's like, I'm interviewing you as much as you're interviewing me,
Mm-hmm.
then people want to work with you more, and you get
Exactly.
paid more, right? You seem more valuable, right? That restriction is good for you. So at the beginning, you feel like I need to say yes to everything and everybody, and you don't. That exclusivity is sort of palpable.
It really is. And it also creates, I think, as well, like you said, that it creates more confidence, but also if you breed more confidence, the people you hire are going to pick up on that. They're going to feel more empowered and confident and comfortable. And your clients are not going to bat an eye at whatever you charge or whatever you're doing, because they believe in you, because you're presenting that. You're not trying to fake it, because if you fake it, people will smell that out, pick it up, and it's just going to cause you problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that
Don't do it.
confidence also leads to you, if you don't have it, you underprice yourself, right?
Oh,
So,
for sure.
the more that you practice the saying, no, you're not my ideal, like, no, I can't help you, somebody else is better to help you, the more you're going to say, but I'm so good at this, like, you're better off hiring me no matter what I charge. Like, I'm just worth it.
Right.
Exactly. And as well as it's advantageous too, I think, if you're like, because you're brought up in a very like dog eat dog world in business sometimes of, okay, well, we have to be competitive, we have to fight against each other. But as tutors who are watching this, like if you turn a family away because you're not the optimal fit and you share that family with someone else, you're bridging another connection with another tutor. Not to say that tutor will necessarily reciprocate with you, but that could put it out in the universe that somebody will reciprocate to you eventually. But you're building a network of tutors that you can connect with who are reliable, who are wonderful. Maybe they're not directly going to be your team, but you're building a trusting network. And that's really empowering too, because families will also remember, wow, that tutor actually gave us this amazing person to work with. And I know somebody who's in that other person's niche. I'm going to refer them back. You never know. And
And
it's
that's
worth
what
it.
we're
And
growing here. That's what we're growing here.
exactly.
Is community and collaboration, because all that positive energy, you guys, only increases your business. It doesn't decrease it ever when you collaborate with, with other people that are out there. I've had reading tutors refer me to clients that they couldn't take on at that moment, or they didn't feel like they had the skills to be able to help that specific student. I've referred other students when I've been completely full to other people. And we even had Michael and we had somebody who's like, I want to be able to work with one of you, but I don't know which one. I'm like, well, what
Yeah.
do you want help with? And they're like, I want
Yeah.
help with being able to grow my tutoring organization. I'm like, well, then Michael is the better choice for you. Like, hands down, like I'm not even in the running. Like, that's not what I do. So you need to work with Michael, not me.
Yeah.
Right. And
And
I'm
someone
okay to
else.
say that. Right. Like, it's like, this isn't
Exactly. And
about serving the people in the best possible way we can serve them, and know who else is out there that can serve people in a better way, and people will remember you for that.
yeah. And to reciprocate that, like someone had emailed me asking about reading specialists. Can I help with that? And no, that's not my arena. So I emailed and said Joanne would be the perfect person to, to help you with that. So it's really being able to take, I think maybe it's part of its fear of not getting clients, maybe a little bit of ego, whatever it might be, just setting that aside and be like, you know what? It's okay. I don't know everything. Nobody does. And that's okay. And build your network, because
Yes.
it's powerful.
Build
And
your
it's low and
network.
it's
Yes.
I
yeah.
had this sort of feeling. So interesting. One of the thoughts that we have as when we're like just starting is, I'm not that special,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we try to be everything to everybody, and we say to yourself, "What makes me different?" You're like, "Shit, I don't know." But when you niche down to something that you care about, something so specific, something so particular, you niche down like 3, 4 times. But what's so interesting is Michael said reading specialist, and I was like, "Oh my god, the word special is right in there." And so, yeah, I think that the more that you niche down, the more that it makes you feel special and different and valuable. But then look in your community, you're like, but the other person's also special. So instead of everybody being same as, you're all beautifully special in your own way. I think that's really pretty.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
it is.
Well, that's actually the legit name they gave me when I went for my degree. Is a reading specialist, and
I like
that's just the
that.
position. But yeah, it's
I'm so gonna steal that. I like that we're all becoming specialists.
we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are all becoming specialists. And I think that's what's so great about this conference, is that you're going to learn different things that are going to help you be more special, either be found more so that people can see you as the special you that you are, or be able to tweak some of your teaching techniques so that you can be seen and really recognized for how special you are, right? There's all these different elements that make special, and how can you make it a special experience for everybody that comes around you? What are you guys looking forward to with Impact? I know, Suzy, you got to head on out, so we'll start with you, and then you can head on
I,
out.
I I'm gonna finish with that lovely thought, which is, I'm looking forward to you becoming as special as you can be, and helping as many people as you can. But most importantly, in the best way that you can, in a way that
Hmm.
empowers you, empowers your students, to live the lifestyle that you want, so that you can raise your kids, help people become the strongest people that they can become so that they help more people in the world. So don't think of yourself as just one little person helping somebody with some math, because you can make a much bigger difference if you choose to be special.
You absolutely can. Thank you,
It was
Suzy.
lovely hanging out with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing how the conference all pulls together in January, and let's look forward to a lovely 2023. Can you believe the year? My God, I just
I
can't
know.
believe the number.
No.
I know.
Ready for the jets and planes, like helicopters to land right
Right?
up, and the
Look,
driverless cars to just
we
come
were let
by.
down by the hoverboard, right? That we were supposed to see from Back to the Future. And then they like
Yes.
made like this wonky creation of a hoverboard. So I don't know. You know what? Our world is going to be, we do have self-driving cars. Like that's pretty amazing in and
And
of
I don't know about
itself.
you, but we all could use a robot maid.
Yeah.
And now
Oh yeah.
some
Yeah.
of them can do a little dancing and black flips and whatever. I'm personally
Okay.
a little upset that Elon Musk is taking a detour with Twitter when he's got these robots and driverless trucks to make, because it's going to take an extra few years for us to get there. We can sidetracked with all this other crazy stuff, but
You know what? It opens the
take a
door
little
for
take a
someone
little page
else.
from him. The more that you get out there, the more that you get on social media, the more everybody knows your name, right?
Whether it's positive or negative.
That's a different problem of
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure his like a lot of the stuff that he's getting seen for today is all positive stuff. It's
he's
Yeah.
got to do less drugs, but what can you do? Okay, just
Yeah.
eat clean, people. So you don't say weird, stupid things when you're on social media.
Yes, you have to constantly think about that professionalism that you bring to the
Yes.
table when you
Yeah.
go on out there. So be
Oh
careful, you
yes.
guys, when you're responding to other people, even in tutor groups or those kinds of things, you need to be careful on how you're talking to other people. Like you sometimes, and I love this, there's a tool called Grammarly, and Grammarly
Hmm.
actually
Yes.
will tell you like how what you're saying can be perceived by others because sometimes we lack that clarity. Grammarly will automatically tell you how that will be perceived by others. Take a look at that. Is that the message that you're really trying to put on out there? Because it cannot affect your business positively when you're getting on out there. Other people are just going to complain about
Yeah.
you. They're not going to refer you. They're going to be repelled by you versus, and that doesn't mean you have to be a people pleaser. We can disagree, but we have to disagree in a way that is kind to the other person,
Yeah.
right? Versus like I have to throw out all my opinions out there and I could care less how you feel about it. That's the way I see it and that's the way it is. Like you have to be careful. Like you're running a business, be professional while you're online. I think that's really, really key.
Yeah. Bye. Agreed.
Thank you so much, Suzy, for
Thanks,
joining us.
Susie.
Michael and I are going to continue
It's
to
lovely to
chat
meet
and
you,
say
Michael.
hello to people that
Likewise,
are
Susie.
inside of here.
Likewise. Bye,
Yeah, I might
Susie.
have a client for you, so I'm gonna go check out your website after this. And
Okay.
wonderful, happy New Year!
Happy
Bye.
New
Bye,
Year! Woo!
Susie. Bye.
And we've got Audrey in the house today. Thanks for joining, Audrey.
Hi,
Audrey
Audrey.
is in New York City. She's tutored in New York City and Houston and is now living in the desert and
Oh,
is
cool.
tutoring only online. So way to go, Audrey. Woot, woot, woot.
Kudos.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we know you got to go tutor as well, but thank you for joining us today. That's awesome. And remember, you guys, to sign on up for Impact. Impact is going to be sponsored again by TutorBird. I'm going to share our special TutorBird sponsor here so that you guys can learn a little bit more about TutorBird and what it can do for your business.
TutorBird lets you schedule lessons, take attendance, collect payments, and much more, all in one place.
And you guys can actually get a free 3-month subscription by going to tutorbird.com/Joanne-Kaminsky. So you'll be able to get 3 months free. TutorBird is also giving
Awesome.
away each day of the event a free 1-year subscription. That is huge.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. You want to be live. So, when you come to this conference, you want to actually pretend you've paid thousands of dollars to come to this conference and and block out your schedule. Like, don't think about this as, oh, yeah, this is a free event. I may or may not attend, or I may like attend this session or that session. I want you guys to think about this as an experience. Okay. So you're going to get to experience and get to meet other tutors throughout the process. You're going to get the opportunity to reflect on your own learning so you can hold in more information. You're going to get the opportunity to be introduced to other people that are going to be able to help you in your business so that you can get where you want faster. A lot of us, if you want the quickest ticket to being able to get the results you want, hire somebody who is 3 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps, 20 steps ahead of you who can take you there faster. They've already learned the mistakes, they can help you skip them, right? And a lot of us we're kind of headstrong in the beginning as tutors. We're like, "No, I can figure this out. I'm smart. I went to
Yeah.
school, I got my education, I got my degree." But guess what? We did not get a degree in running a tutoring business. We did not get a degree in marketing. We did not get a degree in all of that kind of stuff, right? We didn't get a degree in how to sell things to people. And we are selling our services. So it is important that we learn those steps and how to do that so we can get on out there. That way, we don't have to worry about those wise ants of the world that are going to take 25%. And honestly, they're the one, if they're doing all the advertising, they should get the cut. Okay. So if you are going to work with an agency like that, you can't be upset about that kind of a cut. And you're going to learn more about that inside of Susie's talk when we come to the conference and what do we do instead. You're going to get to learn all about that. Michael is going to be sharing all about how to evolve in your tutoring business. So
Hmm.
as you begin to bring on other tutors into the business, you now have that ability to be a leader. And how can you lead with integrity? How do you lead your tutors? This
Yes.
isn't just about, again, just taking another cut. This is about growing
No.
an organization that students and families can count and rely on. So, what do you think
Yes.
are some of the mindset changes that need to happen for a tutor, Michael, that is going from, I have my own tutoring business and now I'm going to hire others? What are some mindset changes that need to happen?
Yeah, I think from my own personal journey and working with other clients as well through this process, the biggest ones are being able to let go of your specific way of how you teach and being open to other avenues. And that it is okay if a tutor has a particular style they're going to bring or a particular way they're going to do things. That's wonderful. That can be so beneficial, and you can learn from your tutor. And it can be
Hmm.
very beneficial for your learners as well, because yes, you might be an amazing tutor, but these other tutors have their own gifts they can bring to it as well. And along the way as well, I think another thing you have to really look at as well is there will be setbacks from time to time and things that are unavoidable. And it's just going to be, when do you focus on the positives? When do you pivot? When do you endure? When do you let go?
Hmm.
And those are going to be those are the big overarching themes of running your tutoring team, is when, how do you focus on the positives? How do you pivot? What do you
Yes.
endure? And when do you have to decide to let go? And all four of those things are totally okay. Ever feel that you are a failed business owner, or that you're terrible because a tutor leaves, or a tutor's not the right fit for a family, or feel that maybe you're not doing your best. Focus on doing your best for nurturing the positives, nurturing those pivots, knowing when to endure and know when to let go, and know that it's okay, because your business is going to thrive. I had those same fears and doubts so many times when I started. And by the end, I had tutors that had worked with me for years. It was beautiful, and multi-year relationships and connections. And it just blossomed, because you have to be able to know, again, it takes just knowing when to endure, when to focus, when to let go, when to share that, like what to do with each individual person, because not everybody's gonna be cookie cutter either. And
Yeah.
just being
Yeah.
embracing every one of your tutors.
Yeah. So you're not looking for a cookie cutter of you because this is
No,
your
no.
business.
No clones.
No clones. We're not looking for
No
clones.
clones.
And I think that does kind of come from ego. Like, well, I've been doing this for
Mhm.
years and we know what
Yeah.
our experience is and the kinds of results that we can get, but we're weary on what are the results that others can get, and that scares us because we have no control over that. So then we try to turn them into
Yeah.
clones so that they know everything we know so that they perform the same way, but that isn't going to build trust with those tutors.
Hmm.
They're going to feel micromanaged,
Yeah.
and because of that, they're just they're going to leave. And I know one of the
Yeah.
big fears that people have is that tutors are going to take clients with them. Have you seen this happen with your own business, that tutors ended up taking students to work with on the side on their own?
With the clients I've worked with and with myself, I mean, I had a tutoring business with a team for over 8 years. Never once did that happen.
But sometimes
Not
we have
once.
fears that things are going to
Fears.
happen that aren't even going to
Yeah.
happen.
Exactly. And there are pieces you can put in place, like,
Right.
like a non-solicitation part you can add, which we can talk about more, but that piece you can add into your agreement or something like that. But it's also about building a wall of trust. You can't sit there and building that trust, not setting up a wall. You can't be sitting there worried about, oh, this tutor might take business and, might undercut me and take this client and they might do this. And I say, if that happens, well, you don't have to deal with that tutor anymore. And do you really want that client anyway? But it's never happened.
Yeah.
And so don't focus on that. Focus on, how can I enrich this tutor? How can I build trust with this tutor? How can I have it so that this tutor is super excited to be working with this team and is excited to grow and is excited to learn? How can I have my family excited because their child's making gains with this tutor and everybody's clicking along nicely and it's going well? That's where you want to be putting your energy into, not unfounded fears or any of those what ifs. You don't want those
Hmm.
like gremlins, biting at you. You want to focus on the better.
Yeah. And that's what this whole
Yeah,
conference is about, you guys. How
exactly.
do we stop focusing on some of those gremlins that come on out to make us be fearful and not trust
Yeah.
people and all those kinds of things. Like,
Well,
you should always have like a little guard up,
well,
but you
yeah,
don't not need to have like this big wall up, right? Like
exactly.
you shouldn't like necessarily go in like I'm going to trust absolutely everybody that I ever talk to or look at, right? Because
Yeah.
trust is built over time, and
Hmm.
there are things that people are going to do to gain more trust or to decrease the amount of trust and allow that process to happen, right?
Exactly.
That's natural. Listen to your gut. Your gut has a
Oh.
lot of wisdom, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of times we sometimes think with our head and we don't like think about how things make us feel, and we
Hmm.
ignore it, and then big things kind of blow up for us. So
Yeah.
put both
and
pieces together.
Exactly. And kind of going off what we talked about, or a point from earlier is, yeah, like with your hiring process and your onboarding process, that's why it's great to take it slow, take it methodically, because you don't want to be doing a quick rush hire to fill a spot because you need a tutor, because then you have to potentially bypass the whole gut check stage and really checking with yourself, is this going to be the right fit for my organization? It is a lot
Mhm.
easier to defer a family starting by a little bit, or worst case scenario, the family is not able to continue with you and they want to move on to someone else, because if you don't have a tutor for them, then you can always potentially move them to somebody else, and that's okay. You're keeping within, everything going well, versus, oh, I'm going to put someone in here and then they are just abysmal or a really bad
Yeah.
fit, or they don't show for the lesson or whatever. That's a headache that you're going to have to deal with then, and that also, they're representing your brand. That's not a really good start. So take your time with it and be open to that, but also be good to yourself. There's going to be moments that go wonderful. There's moments that don't go so well, and you can always pivot and grow. This is all part of the lifelong, learning journey. I know it's a cliche, but it is. It's part of
Yeah.
that journey. You're not going to be. I'm not even close to being an ideal, perfect leader. I know a lot of stuff, but I mean, I'm continuing to advance. But it's about your own journey, and just take your time
Mhm.
with it and embrace it. And this is with
Yeah.
everything at this conference. Impact 3 is going to be incredible because there's so many people here that are here to help, and also all the wonderful tutors, other tutors are going to be there. It's building that community and it's
Mhm.
fostering connections, and that's why it's so important, like Joanne said, to go to the 3 days, because it's not just a free conference. It's the opportunity to connect with people worldwide and make all these meaningful connections that can help you enhance, because as a private
Yeah.
tutor, it can be lonely at the top sometimes. get off the mountain. Come join
Yep.
us.
Yes, because networking is a big, huge piece of being able to build those relationships. Like I talk about this a lot of the networking piece and how, like, look, when I get
Mhm.
to know other tutors, I know who I can trust to pass off some of those next students because I just don't want to pass off a student to somebody that, like, I know they teach that, but I don't know anything about them. Like, we
Mhm.
are very guarded in that way when it comes to who are we going to refer. We're not just going to refer anybody. Like, if somebody just like spams the group with like a message that says, "Hey, we're looking to fill some spots for some students here," and they have like this big image, like an ad that they created on Canva, and they post that inside of our group, right? That's spamming. That's not networking, right? That's
Mhm.
like it's asking for a French kiss on the first date. You just don't do it. Well, maybe you do, but I don't know. I've been out of the dating world for a while. But it's like the first
Same.
thing, like you meet them and you're like, just go on
Yeah.
in for the French kiss. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that would be awkward. I'm assuming it would still be awkward today if like you go to pick somebody up for a first date and they start French kissing you. You'd be like, whoa, a little bit more to this process that needs to happen. So you're going to
I
learn all
want to know
about this
you and not
networking
your
piece,
mouth. Hello.
right? Right. There's a
Oh
little bit more that goes
dear.
on into it. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a dance that we do, right? When we're
Oh yeah.
networking, and you're going to learn that dance as you go through the
Hmm.
entire conference. So definitely
Yeah.
come and join us. Now, on Monday, you guys are going to get to see some other incredible speakers. You're going to get to see Audrey, who is going to be talking about handwriting. Now, I don't know about you, but I've struggled with the whole idea of doing like handwriting online with students and that kind of stuff. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to like
Hmm.
to hear her take on that. We've got Sonia who's going to be speaking and Rhonda who is going to be speaking as well. You're going to get to meet them a little bit more. Sonia is exciting because she's talking about the weight piece of our job. Okay. So, and I don't mean like the heaviness of our job. I'm like literally
Right.
talking about because we're now sitting down
Right.
and we're not moving
Ah,
as much in our business. She's going to be talking about how can we make sure that we're making time for ourselves and taking care of our
love it.
health.
Mhm.
Yes, so I'm super excited about that. I've been on my own health journey. Well, I've been on this roller coaster health journey for life, but I've been on, really all in on being consistent daily since July. And it's really been a huge thing for me to focus on my health because when you don't focus on your health, guess what happens? You can't think clearly. You're tired. You're exhausted. You get burnt out faster. So I'm excited to have you guys meet her and Rhonda as well, who's going to be sharing some like momentum. Um, how do you build those relationships with the different families? So amazing people to listen to. Come join us on Monday so you can hear a little bit about them. Get really excited about this entire process and thank you, Michael and Suzy, who joined us earlier in sharing today about what they're speaking about and giving us some little tidbits to want to know some more. We're excited to have you guys part of this process. This conference can't happen without you, so we need you there. So definitely come and join us and be a part of the process. Thanks, Michael, for joining us, and thank you
Thanks,
guys for
Joanne.
joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.